So in the last session, right, so we discussed about the parameter file management. So where we have seen how can we change the parameter and how can we see the value of the parameter and when to go for a restart and when to go for a reload whenever we change any parameter, right? So the today's topic is database management. So here we are going to check how we are going to manage the databases. When I say managing a databases, what are all the operations that we can perform? Okay, what are the operations we can perform? And also, like how can we create a databases and how can we manage the databases in real time? Okay, okay, in real time. So we are going to see different couple of options that are available in Postgres to manage the databases. Okay, Postgres to manage the databases. Okay, and one more thing is, like so in Postgres, right, and we can create more than one database. When I say so, we will be having multiple databases. Okay, so what you need to remember here is, okay, the database contains schemas contains objects. So what is an object? An object can be a table, procedure, function, view, or anything. So the hierarchy that you need to remember is database. Database contains schemas and schemas contains objects. So today we are going to see the database management. Tomorrow we are going to see a table space management. In the day after class we are going to see a schema management, and next 2 to 3 class we are going to discuss about users and the privilege management. So the topic of the day is database management. Okay, the the topic is database management. So whenever you create any Postgres cluster, by default three databases will be there. Okay, the moment you have installed the database cluster and perform the database initialization using initdb utility, so the three databases that will be get created is Postgres, template 0, and template 1. So these three are the default databases. These three are the default database that will get created. Okay, these are the default databases that will get created. So whenever you initialize the Postgres cluster using initdb utility. So how can we create a database? How can we create a database is using a statement create database database name. This is the statement which will create a database, and the person whoever performs this create database command will be the owner of the database. The user whoever executes this create database statement will be the owner of the database. So not every user will be able to create a database. If you want to create database, users should have create database privilege. More about the privileges we are going to discuss during the database management class. Okay, so when you create a database without specifying a owner name, the person whoever executes this create database statement will be the owner of the database. So if you want to have a particular user as a owner, then you need to create database database name owner username. So this person will be the owner of the database then. Okay, so now let me connect to my Postgres cluster and show you. Okay, okay, Postgres. Let me check whether my Postgres cluster is running or not. ps-ef grep Postgres. Yes, the Postgres cluster is running. Now PSQL. So how can we create database? Create database. Okay, create database EDW. So this is how you will create a database. And how can we check? How can we list the databases? The command which we can use to list the databases is /l. Okay, /l is a command to list the databases that are available in the Postgres cluster. Okay, /l is a command to list the databases that are available in the Postgres cluster, and /l plus will give you the detailed listing along with the size. Detailed listing along with the size. Okay, detailed listing along with the size. So /l is a command to list the databases that are available in the Postgres cluster, and /l plus will be used for the detailed listing. So these are the commands that we can use. These are the commands that we can use to list the database that are available in the Postgres cluster, and the same thing we can achieve. Okay, and the same thing we can achieve using a data dictionary called pg underscore database. Okay, pg underscore database is a data dictionary or system table through which you can get the list of database that are available in the Postgres cluster. Let's see one by one. So what is the command? /l is a command to list the databases that are available in the Postgres cluster. So test, demo, EDW are the databases which we have created. In the last session we have created the EDW database. See, you are able to see the EDW. If you want to have a detailed listing of a particular database, /l plus will give you the detailed listing along with the size. Okay, along with the size. So if you want to have the detailed listing of a particular database, then /l plus EDW. So I wanted to check the details of the EDW database. So database name is EDW, owner is a Postgres, and the size is a 7 MB. So this is how you can list the databases. As I said, we can also get this information from a data dictionary called pg underscore database. And in Postgres, how can we describe the structure of a table? So how can you describe the table? /d pg underscore database. So there is a column called dat name which talks about the database name. Okay, select dat name from pg underscore database. Okay, so see, these are the list of databases that are available in the Postgres cluster. And next point that we are going to discuss is, so simply how we are going to create database. Create database ed. Let me show you. Okay, create database. I'm going to create database name as a SAP. Okay, so whenever you do this create database SAP, a new database is going to get created with the name as SAP. How it is going to get created, right? So if you want to know about that, we need to know about the default databases that are available in the Postgres cluster. So whenever you perform a database initialization, by default, how many databases will get created? 3 databases will get created. One is a Postgres, second one is a template 0, and third one is a template 1. Okay, so Postgres is a default database, and we do not recommend, okay, we do not recommend to store any application specific data into the Postgres database. So it is not recommended to store or create any objects in the Postgres database, because this is a default database. Okay, next, template 0 and template 1 we are going to discuss. Okay, so before discussing about the template 1, so we need to understand how the create database statement is going to work. So whenever you try to fire a command called create database SAP, means a new database SAP will be created by taking template 1 as a reference. Okay, whenever you fire any create database statement, a new database will be created by cloning template 1 or by taking template 1 as a reference. Got it? So when you fire a create database statement, template 1 will be used as a reference. Okay, so let's talk about a scenario where I have a requirement to create 10 databases. Okay, db1, db2, db3, db4, likewise db10. Okay, and each database contains 2 schemas, like schema 1 schema 2, schema 1, schema 2, schema 1 and schema 2. So this is my requirement. So I need to create 10 database, and each database should contain two schemas. One is a schema 1 and second one is a schema 2. So what are the approaches that we can follow? The approaches that we can follow is approach 1. First you need to create database. Create database db1, and you need to connect to the database. How can we connect? /c db1, and you need to create two schemas. How can we create schemas? Create schema sch1, create schema sch2. This is how you need to do repeat the same exercise for all 10 database. Again, then create database 2, connect to the database and create the schema 1 and create schema 2. Likewise, this is the approach 1. What would be the approach 2? The approach 2 would be, okay, approach 2 would be just connect to the template database, which is template 1. Okay, now create two schemas. Create schema sch1, create schema sch2, and now start creating the databases. Create database db1 and do the exercise for db10. So as you are creating the schema 1 and schema 2 in the template 1 database, as you are creating schema 1 and schema 2 in the template database, so whatever the database that you are going to create subsequently, as create database statement is going to, okay, as create database statement is going to do what? As create database statement is going to take template 1 as a reference. So whatever the objects that are available, okay, whatever the objects that are available in this template 1 will be copied automatically into the subsequently created databases. That is the reason why I have used a statement called, so whenever you fire any create database statement, a new database will be created by cloning a standard template database called template 1, or by taking template 1 as a reference. So whatever the objects that are available in the template 1 will be copied automatically into the subsequently created databases. Okay, this is very important. Okay, now let me connect to the template 1. Okay, now I connected to template 1, and let me list the schemas that are available in the Postgres cluster. What are the schemas that are available in the Postgres cluster? How can we check? How can we check the schemas that are available in the Postgres cluster, right? So we can check using a command called /d, and this we will be seeing it in the schema management. So by default we have only one schema. Now what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to create one more schema. Create schema sch2. I have created one schema in the template 1 database. Now what I'm trying to do, right, I'm trying to create one database. Create database CRDS. So whenever you fire any command like create database, what happens? It is going to take template 1 as a reference by default. So now let me connect to the CRDS database and let me list the schema. So whatever the schema that we have created in the template 1 is automatically copied to the CRDS database. Now what I'm trying to do, again let me connect to the template 1 database. Let me drop the schema. Drop schema sch2. Now let me create one more database. Create database BI. Now let me connect to the BI database. As we have dropped the schema, okay, let me connect to the BI database. As we have already dropped the schema 2, so that the newly created database BI will not have the schema 2. This is how template 1 will be used. Okay, so what is the, okay, so what, so template 1, so whenever you create any database, and if you do not, so by default template 1 will be taken as a reference. That's what we have discussed so far. Now what is template 0? What is template 0? Okay, before discussing about the template 0, we'll see something. Okay, now let me try to connect to the template 1. How can I connect? PSQL -u Postgres -d template 1 -d template 1. Okay, I'm able to connect, and let me try to create something. Create schema test. So if you see, I am able to connect, okay, I am able to connect to the template one database, and I am able to also perform create schema statement. So from this, what we can conclude, we can conclude that we can be able to modify the template one, right? So this modification we call it as a site local modifications. Okay, this modification we call it as a site local modification. So what happens, we were able to connect to the template one database, and we are able to perform we are able to create some schemas, which means template one is allowing site local modifications. And let me do one more thing. So now we are trying to find out what is the purpose of template 0. So now let me connect to the template 0. PSQL-u Postgres-d template 0. Am I able to connect? What it is telling, connection to the server failed, fatal, database template 0 is not currently accepting the connections. Why it is not accepting the connection, that we will be seeing it in a while. But from this, what we can conclude, template 0 will not allow the connections. When you are not able to connect to the database, will you be able to modify anything? If you are not able to, like, connect to any database, will you be able to modify anything? Will you be? No. So from this, what we can tell, template 0 will not allow site local modifications. Template 0 will not allow what? Site local template 0 will not allow site local modifications. So what does it mean by site local modification? We cannot modify anything in the template 0. Then what is the purpose of, how can we use this template 0? So let's say, so what is the template 1? Template 1 has a tendency to get modified, right? So we can connect to the template 1, we can create schemas, and we can do anything. If you want to create a virgin database, okay, if you want to create a virgin database without having any site local modifications, then we will use template 0 as a reference. Okay, then we will use template 0 as a reference. How we are going to use it as a reference, that we'll be seeing it in a while. So if you want to create any virgin database without having any site local modifications, then we can use template 0 as a reference. In simply, if you feel that template 1 has been modified, so you don't want to use template 1, you wanted to create a new database without having any site local modifications, then you can use template 0 as a reference. So from the last 10 minutes, I'm telling you, like, template 1 will be used as a reference, or template 1, a new database will be cloned by copying template 1, or template 0 can be used as a reference. That's what these are the statements that I have been using since from last 10 minutes, right? So now we are going to see how can we use any database as a template database. So when you do like create database, okay, when you do like create database, okay, when you do like a create database training, so as you did not specify anything, a new database will be created by cloning template 1. So internally, what is the statement that is going to get executed, right? So create database, internally internally it is going to get executed like create database training template 1. Okay, a new database training will be created by copying what? Template 1. By copying template 1, it is going to create a training database. So let me show you that practically. Now let me connect to a database /c template 1. Do we have any specific schemas? Yes, I have created test schema. Now what I'm trying to do, /c Postgres, I'm trying to create one there. Create database training. Let me connect to the training database /dn. So though you execute create database statements, whatever the schemas that are available in that template one will be copied automatically. So now what my need is, I wanted to create a new virgin database without having any site local modifications. What does it mean by site local modifications? If something is modified in the database, now create database. The database name would be, okay, the database name would be app. Okay, the database name would be app. Create database app template 0. See, now let me connect to the app database. When you do like /dn, it will not have any extra schemas unlike template 1, because we have used template 0 as a template database, and template 0 will not allow you to connect to its template 0 database. That is the reason why it's not possible to perform any site local modifications. That's the purpose of template 0 and template 1. So can we, and the next question would be, so how we are using any database as a template? We are using any database as a template using template keyword. Create database name like db2 template database which you want to use as a template. So a new database db2 will be created by copying the database which you mentioned in the template clause, right? So can we use any database as a template database? Yes, if you are a super user, you can use any database as a template database. Now what I'm trying to do, right, in the app, I'm going to create a schema called create schema app underscore data. This is a schema that I have created. Now I am going to create, okay, let me come out and let me create one, let me open one more session here. Now let me connect to the app database PSQL -u Postgres -d app. I connected to the app database in one session. In the next session, what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to create database. Create database. Okay, create database G. Okay, not G. Create database Geo templates app. So what I'm trying to do, whatever the things that are there in the app, that will be copied automatically to the Geo database. But see, create database Geo template app. What is the error that you get? Source database app is being accessed by other users. There is one other session during using this session. So the point that you need to remember is, if you want to use, okay, if you want to use any database as a template database, if you want to use any database as a template database, if you want to use any database as a template database, that database should not contain any data, that database should not contain any active connections. Okay, so if you want to use any database as a template database, the database should not contain what? Any active connections. So in the other session, as I have connected to the app database, that is the reason why it is not allowing you to create a database using create database statement. So I have disconnected from the app database. Now let me try to execute this. So this will get created. This is how you can create the database and list the databases. Now we are going to see, so as I discussed, /l or /l plus or /d pg underscore namespace is used to list the databases that are available in the, sorry, /d pg underscore database will be used to list the database that are available in the Postgres cluster. Now we are going to see some special columns in the pg underscore database data dictionary. Okay, we are going to see some special columns in the pg underscore database data dictionary. So before doing that, let me print some value. Select dat name comma dat hello connection comma dat is template pg underscore database. So let me take this print. Okay, so now we are going to see why we were not able to connect to the template 0 database. Before discussing that, dat name talks about database name. Dat allow connection talks about whether it is going to allow the connections or not. Dat is template talks about whether we can use any database as a template database or not. So if you see, for the Postgres database, dat hello connection is true. For the test database, dat hello connection is true. For the template 1, dat hello connection is true. For the template 0, dat hello connection is false, which means it will not allow you to connect to the template 0 database. So for the rest of all the databases, dat hello connection is true. That is the reason why you are able to connect to any of the databases except template 0, because for template 0, dat hello connection, database hello connections column is false. Next one, dat is template. So dat is template talks about whether we can use any database as a template database. Observe it carefully. Except for template 0 and template 1, for rest of all the things, dat is template column is false. Template 0 and template 1 having dat hello, dat is template column is true. Rest of all the things, dat hello, dat is template column is false, which means if the dat is template column is false, which means either super user or owner of the database, either super user or owner of the database can use the database as a template. So when the dat is template column is false for a particular database, either super user or owner of the database can use this database as a template. So let's see that. Okay, let's see that practically. Okay, do we have any users? Yes, I have a user called demo. Now what I'm trying to do, right? I'm going to create database privilege to this user. Alter user demo with create db. Alter username with okay. Now the demo user is having a create database privilege. Now what I'll do in the another session, let me connect as a demo user, psql -u demo -d postgres. Okay, now create database demo 1. I can use template as template 0. I can use it right now. Create database demo 2. When I use simply this one, template 1 will be used as a reference. Now what I'm trying to do, right? So I'll try to use geo database as a template where dat is template column is false. Okay, so create database demo 3 template 0. What is it is telling? Permission denied to copy the database geo. Why? Because for the geo database, that is template column is false. When the that is template column is false, then either super user or owner of the database can make use of this database as a template database. So now let me do, so I have created demo 1 and demo 2 as a demo user. Right now let me see. So for the demo 1, who is the owner? Demo is the owner. Now in the other session, what I'm trying to do, right? So now what I'm trying to do, how I have connected? I have connected as a demo user. Now create database demo 4 template demo 1. Can I use this? Yes. Though for the demo 1 database, that is template column is false, but we are trying to create a database using a demo user only, and demo is the user is the owner of the demo 1. That is the reason why it allows you to use this as a template database. Simply, if the that is template column is false, either super user or owner of the database can use the database as a template database. So this is the difference. This is the reason why your template 1.0 database is not allowing you to connect to your Postgres database, not allowing you to connect. Okay, so with this we have completed most of the database management stuff. Now we are going to see, let's say I have a demo 1. So who is the owner of the demo 1? The owner of the demo 1 is demo. Now let me try to change the ownership. How can you change? Alter database name, owner name. Alter database name, owner to, sorry, alter database name, owner to new owner name. See now, /l demo 1. So previously who is the owner? The owner is demo. 1 minute. Sorry. Alter database demo 1 owner to Postgres. Okay, so through which user I logged in? I logged in as a demo user, right? Now I'm removing this. I'm closing this because I need to be a super user to change the ownership. I need to be a super user or owner of the database to change the ownership. So now alter database demo 1 owner to Postgres /l demo 1. See, demo 1 owner is Postgres now. Previously it was demo. How can we change the ownership now? Alter database alter database name, owner to new name, new user. So this will be the owner. How can we drop the database? Drop database name. This will drop your database. How can we rename a database? Alter database name, rename to new name. Okay, alter database name, rename to new name. So now let me drop the database. No, everyone will be able to drop the database. No, only either super user or owner of the database can only be able to drop the database. And if you want to drop the database or if you want to rename the database, that database should not contain any active connections. Okay, drop database demo. Now drop database demo 1. Let me remove all the unnecessary database which we have created. Drop database demo 2. Drop database demo 3. Okay, it's not there. /l. Now drop database training. Okay, drop database training. Drop database test drop database demo 4 now slash l 8 databases are there. Now let me drop the database app also. Drop database app. So now I'm trying to rename this BI database. Okay, sorry, slash l. So alter database BI rename to DMS. Okay, so this is how you can perform various operations on the database. So with this we have completed the database management session in Postgres. In the next class we are going to discuss about the table space management. Any doubts so far? Any doubts so far? Nothing. So if you guys are good, then we'll wind up the session for today and we'll connect tomorrow for the table space management. Okay, and have you guys installed? If yes, and do you face any, did you face any issues? If you,
No.
okay, if you have any issues, just let me know. If not, just try to practice, and yeah, we'll connect tomorrow again. Thank you.